has been a sizzling start to the month of April for Austin Jackson. The Tiger rookie table center has a .390 on-base percentage, leading all American League rookies. Austin Jackson back in the lineup today on a gorgeous day for baseball here in the Motor City. Third and final game in this series featuring the Minnesota Twins and your Detroit Tigers. Hi again, everyone. Welcome to Tigers Baseball. Mario and Pemba, Ron Allen, glad to have you with us this afternoon. The Tigers, a great comeback win last night, and it's becoming a commonplace now for the Tigers to come back and win. But one of the big bats last night, Rod, was Maglio Ordonez. Had a terrific game and really keyed that comeback.
You know, it's been really fun to watch Maglio go about his business in a professional way this year. He's healthy once again. His bat speed is back. As a matter of fact, he's swinging the bat like he did when he was just a youngster coming up in the Chicago White Sox uniform. He is emerging on a milestone as far as Venezuelan-born players are concerned. He's getting close to getting 2,000 base hits. Tigers fans have had a chance to see a lot of those hits, over 800 of them, but it's just fun to watch him go about his business once again, Mario, with that smile on his face. He's got that youthful look. He's playing well defensively, and boy, can he hit foul line to foul line.
It is the Maglio Ordonez that we have seen a couple of years ago here in Detroit. He's been absolutely wonderful. And here's that list of Venezuelan-born players. Some pretty good players on this list.
Oh, when you start looking at Galarraga and Concepcion and Vizquel and Aparicio, and of course, we just saw Bobby Abreu, and we will see him again tomorrow night. Just a real small list, but just outstanding players coming from their country, and they do play some very good baseball down there.
All right, that's the story here at Comerica Park. For more on our coverage today, let's go to the Call Sam Studios now in Ryan Field. And the Tigers taking on the Minnesota Twins here this afternoon at the ballpark. And by the way, if Detroit combines for 3 or more home runs in this game, bring a copy of the box score to a participating Arby's location tomorrow. Get a free small order of curly fries. You can find a copy of the box score in your newspaper or at the Tigers page at foxsportsdetroit.com. A little bit overcast here at the ballpark today. Just about 60 degrees here at game time as the Tigers prepare to take on the Minnesota Twins here in the final game of the series. Denard Span, Orlando Hudson, and Michael Kadire, the top 3 hitters in this Minnesota lineup. And here we go. The first pitch of the ball game is a strike called on Denard Span. Span in the series 2 for 8 with an RBI. He's batting .232. Here's the 0-1 pitch. And another strike. 0-2 on Denard.
Very important for Dontrell to start to get off some of the leadoff hitters of any inning that he's out on the mound. He's had trouble doing that this year. Just 50% of the leadoff hitters retired so far this year for Dontrell, and he's been pitching in quite a few traffic because of that.
And it would certainly be good to keep this guy off the bases. Span is their table setter. He's done a marvelous job and really broke out with a tremendous season last year. Scored almost 100 runs, hit over 300.
Very nice on base percentage, .392, which was 4th best in the American League for a leadoff hitter. He's a good player.
Wave and a miss. Down he goes, and Willis starts the game off with a strikeout. Here is the starting lineup for the Twins, presented by Honda Bloomfield. You saw Denard Span there. He's leading it off in center field, followed by Hudson at second. Kadire is at first base. Jim Thome will clean up. Kugel in right. Young in left. Their bottom 3 is Harris, Hughes, and Butera. And again, Justin Morneau is out of the lineup today. They're hopeful of getting him back tomorrow when they go to Cleveland. Orlando Hudson now steps in with 1 out. Good start for Willis. The strikeout of Span. Hudson has hit safely in 5 in a row. And Willis misses outside. 1-0. Orlando at .279 this year. He's had 3 hits in the series plus an RBI. Here's the 1-0 pitch. On the outer edge, a strike. 1-1. Minnesota 14-7 coming into play today. The Tigers at 12-10, trailing the first place Twins. The 1-1 pitch. This is what the Central looks like coming into play this afternoon. Twins starting to put some room between themselves and Cleveland, Chicago, and Kansas City now.
And which means the Tigers have got to keep on winning to stay close to the hot Minnesota Twins, at least until last night. But they played a ball game last night. It's not the way they usually play.
Well, that tremendous comeback win for the Tigers. They fell behind 6-1 in that ball game and ended up pounding Minnesota.
Ron Gardenhire got the boot in last night's game.
Two balls and 2 strikes on Orlando Hudson. Lifted in the air, foul down the right field line. Of course, Gardenhire was thrown out of the game for arguing a play in center field, a ball that he thought Denard Span caught. It was ruled an error, and they said that he dropped it, and that really turned out to be probably the biggest play of the game.
Tigers really took advantage of that, which is what good offensive clubs will do. If you make mistakes or if you walk people, the Tigers offensively have been very good this year.
And it's funny because coming into the season, all of the worry about this Tigers team centered around the offense and not the pitching.
Yep.
But they have really performed. On deck is Michael Kadire. Just underway here at the ballpark. And a bouncing ball to third. Brandon Inge right there. Hudson is out, 2 gone. Here's the scouting report on Dontrell Willis, presented today by Ace Hardware.
Well, you may remember Dontrell had to miss his last start in Texas because he had 24-hour flu symptoms. He's been given a clean bill of health. And one thing they'd like to see Dontrell do, and that's continue to pitch to contact. 10 base on balls already this year. But you'd rather him give up hits if you're Jim Leyland rather than walk people. So pitch to contact. And he's had nice numbers against Jim Thome in his career, with Mauer and Morneau being out. Thome, one of those left-handers that you have to pay some special attention to.
Here's Kadire. Fouls it off 0-1. There aren't too many Thome tamers out there, but Dontrell is one of them.
Well, Dontrell, when healthy and when he was pitching well, and most of that came before he put on a Tigers uniform, left-handers had no shot at hitting D-Train.
Kadire is 1 for 9 in the series. Ball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I was talking to Michael on the field before the game, and he said he hit 850 feet worth of baseball yesterday and only got rewarded with 1, which was a double. He'd have had 2 home runs in any other ballpark in the United States.
Welcome to Comerica Park, especially center field where he hit his 2nd one. And he hit it off Brad Thomas. It turned out to be a long fly ball out to Austin Jackson, and he was the minor league roommate of Brad Thomas when they were both in the Twins organization. So Kadire said he was going to get with him and say, you got lucky on that one. I hit it about 400 feet on you.
I'm sure he probably got with Brad and probably congratulated him as well on his first major league win,
which we want to do as well. Thomas picked up that victory last night. 3-1 on Michael Kadire with 2 outs. We're in the 1st inning. Strike called. 3-2. Here's something else the Twins are playing for today. They're trying to win another series. They've won their first 6 consecutive series this year, and if they win here today, that'll make it 7 straight. Tigers have other plans. 3-2 pitch is ball 4.
Let's take a look at the Tigers defensively, always presented by Beaumont Hospital. The outfield reads Bosch, Jackson, Ordonez. You've got Adam Everett back at the shortstop position after missing the last 4 games with a tight hamstring. So good to see Adam Everett back at the shortstop position for the Tigers. And as they always do, special shift for Jim Thome.
There you have it. You were talking about the numbers against Dontrell Willis. Just 4 for 27, 12 strikeouts. Fouled back out of play. No balls, 1 strike. In his career, as you were talking about, left-handers batting just .207 against Willis. And Thome has continued to put up big numbers in his career. He homered in the ball game last night. Ball inside and high.
Thome Hall of Fame for you?
You know, we've discussed this the last 2 or 3 years, and I've kind of been on the fence, but I think I'm going to go with yes.
Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. I think if you delve into his numbers, they're pretty impressive. And I know a lot of that has to do with longevity, but that's part of the deal, too. So
I would not disagree with you. I mean, all those home runs, for sure.
All those walks, RBIs, runs scored. I know that he's been relegated to DH duties the last few years of his career, but I guess it's the old argument. Does Edgar Martinez belong in the Hall of Fame? 2 balls, 1 strike on Thome.
Well, here's a count where you have to be careful with Thome. If you do throw a fastball, you got to locate it very well. And that was located beautifully. Away from the arm side, very firm at 89 miles an hour. And it hits Laird's glove.
2-2 on Thome. Gerald getting the start behind the plate today.
Going right back with that same fastball.
And it's strike 3 called. He got him looking. Willis strikes out his 2nd of the inning. This time he gets Thome. Jackson leads off. He's in center field, followed by Johnny Damon and Maglio Ordonez. Cabrera, the cleanup man. Bosch is back in left today. Inge is at third. Your bottom three is Laird, Sizemore, and Everett. Well, the Bernstein Advantage brings you the scouting report on Carl Pavano. Get the Bernstein Advantage. We go to bat for you.
Yeah, Pavano, one of those guys that's had to reinvent himself last couple of years. Hard thrower when he was very young, 95 with his fastball, but does not have that kind of velocity anymore. He's turned into a touch and field guy. And how about division dominance? He won 10 games against the Central last year, 14 overall, and it can be done. Tigers finally beat him last season after he beat them 4 times.
Look at Austin Jackson. There's another base hit for the Tigers leadoff man.
He is my pick for the American League Rookie of the Month. And I am going out on a limb when I say that.
You will get very few arguments on that. Well, Jackson with a terrific on-base percentage. And 30 hits now in the month of April for Austin. So this top of the lineup has turned into something pretty special here with Jackson and Damon setting the table for the big guys.
And Damon is a classic pull hitter and perfect for this situation. Johnny Damon will be trying to hit something in that direction, obviously with the responsibility of Kadire holding on Austin Jackson.
Runner goes. A show of bunt. Here's the throw, and not in time. Jackson is up. He's coming to third. And the throw there is not in time. Stolen base, an error, and he gets to third.
Real good jump off of Pavano by Jackson. And take a look at how quickly he locates the baseball. I mean, he locates the baseball in a hurry, and he's able to get himself over to third base.
Fourth stolen base for Jackson. Damon hits one in the air to left center field. Over there is Delman Young. He's under it. Jackson will tag and he will score. That didn't take long. Sac fly for Johnny Damon, his 10th RBI.
The Tigers know beyond a shadow of a doubt that Pavano is going to be around the plate all afternoon long. He's only walked 1 so far this year, and he struck out 17 in his prior 4 starts. He's been a control freak.
Here's Ordonez. Their whole staff are control freaks.
True. He fits right into the mold.
Maglio hits a sharp one hopper to the shortstop Harris, who makes a nice play.
Nifty glove work there by Harris, getting his first start at short of this series. J.J. Hardy played the first couple of days at short, but look at the tricky hop. Lloyd McClendon said that the Tigers have kind of changed their approach against the Minnesota Twins pitchers, and you probably need to. I mean, they throw a lot of strikes, so why go up there and take the first strike if you know guys are going to be around the plate all afternoon long or all evening in the last couple of games?
Well, it's a good point, and we've talked about the fact the Tigers have walked so many times this year, but when you're facing a staff that consistently is 0-1, 0-2, well, being selective really doesn't pay off. An early run here, the single by Jackson, and the sac fly by Johnny Damon. 0-2 on Cabrera. Cabrera made me laugh today. He was sitting in his locker. Lloyd McClendon walked by and started screaming at Lloyd. Hey, Lloyd, 0 for 4. Come on, get it going. Like he was blaming Lloyd for him going 0 for 4 last night.
Right. Doesn't happen very often, at least not this year.
The 0-2. El Miguel now batting .341. And these are his totals with the Tigers.
Since putting on a Tigers uniform, no one has more home runs, more RBIs in the American League than Cabrera. He's been that good.
Cabrera in the series 1 for 8. He's been on base in 21 of the 22 games the Tigers have played in this year. And he reached last night when he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded. Fouled away.
'Away. 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 'Aw curve, slider, and the changeup. Really never gives into the strike zone. Even when he falls behind, he still picks on the corners. He likes to elevate the fastball with 2 strikes, and he gets some swings and misses when he does that.
Right back to the mound. So Pavano will end the inning by getting Cabrera, but the Tigers score an early run, and we go to the second. Detroit is brought to you by Comerica Bank. Strength and stability since 1849. And by Comcast. Call 1-800-COMCAST for TV, phone, and internet. Tigers manufacture a run. Austin Jackson led it off with a single, stole second, went to third on a bad throw, and Damon knocked him home with a sac fly. That's how you do it. Jason Kubel leads it off against Dontrell Willis as we go to the second. Strike one on Kubel.
Dontrell looks like he's got pretty good command with that fastball away from the left-handed hitters. Threw some real good fastballs to Tomey, and he starts Kubel off with a well-located fastball.
Kubel batting .212, and he's had to go 4 for 7 in this series to get up to .212.
They've had some guys that have gotten off to a slow start offensively. A few guys, but they're still 7 games over.
Bouncing ball back up the middle. Sizemore down to a knee. Comes up quickly and throws him out. Nifty play there by Sizemore.
Got up rather quickly. Little half slide. Anticipated doing this, which he stops himself there. If he doesn't go to the one knee, then he has to take a couple of extra steps out into center field, and he more than likely doesn't get Kubel unless he does it the way that he does it here. Lincoln Mercury Exmo gives us a really nice slow look.
Ball 1 to Delman Young. One for 4 in the series. Delman also has a couple of walks. Drives this one to right field. Ordonez is there. 2 gone. It's going to bring up Brendan Harris. Of course, Dontrell missed his last start. He had that stomach problem. Came back the very next day in Texas and threw an inning in relief. But Willis has made 2 starts this year in which he's given up 2 or fewer runs. Did it against KC and against the Angels. Harris playing short in this game. And there's a strike. .184 average. 0 for 3 for Harris. J.J. Hardy gets the day off. The 0-1. So they have no Hardy today. They have no Morneau, and they have no Maurer. Much different look to the Minnesota lineup. Day game following the night game. Of course, Morneau still battling that back. Here's the 1-1.
And as far as Mauer is concerned, you can't kill him. You can't run him out there every day, although I know it's very difficult for Ron Gardenhire not to write him into his batting order. And you've got to take care of your superstar.
It's the same problem Jim Leland had with Pudge Rodriguez. He wanted to give him more of a rest every now and then, but he just felt like you couldn't take him out of the lineup. The 2-1. There's a strike, 2-2. Right at the knee.
Yep, that's what Foxtrack said.
2-2 pitch. Well, the more Dontrelle comes out throwing strikes, I think the more opposing teams are going to stop waiting him out.
Great point.
Now, there was a time in his first couple of starts where they made him throw strikes based on the struggles he's had the last couple of years, but he's looked sharp today. Luke Hughes waiting on deck. Popped him up. Foul ground. Laird and Cabrera, who wants it? Laird does. And a 1-2-3 inning for Dontrelle Willis. Brandon Inge had a big night last night. He'll be up in the second. Tigers fans who are currently serving in the U.S. Armed Forces at home and abroad can receive a free DVD of this season's home opener telecast against the Indians. It's a project titled Operation Opening Day. For details, visit tigers.com/Operation Opening Day.
Now, did you come up with the heading there, Operation Opening Day?
No, you know who came up with that?
Who did?
That was Tim Bryant.
Tim Bryant.
Our esteemed colleague at Fox Sports Detroit. We were trying to come up with a name for the project, and he said, I thought of like tapes for troops or something like that. We need to go with Operation Opening Day, and it just clicked.
Yeah. Sounds good.
So good job, Tim Bryant, who, by the way, I want to thank very much for his hard work on that entire project. He's done a lot of the legwork for us.
He was here last night. I guess it's a little tough to do a day game after a night game for Tim.
Oh, you're calling him out today, are you?
Why not?
The rest of us are here.
Yes.
Brendan Bosch leading it off and pops it straight up on the infield. The second baseman, Hudson, to the grass, one gone. They retired Bosch on a mile-high pop-up. It's going to bring up Brandon Inge. Had a big night last night.
Last couple of times he's had big nights. It started in Texas. He's got his legs underneath him. I don't know how he kept that ball fair, but he pulls his hands in nicely and hit a seed off Baker into the left field seats.
Pavano was in there with strike one. Brandon Homer, 3 RBIs last night. He's knocked in 14 now this year. And as the weather is getting warmer, he says his knees are feeling better and better. He said the first week of the season with the chilly weather, it took him a while to stretch out those surgically repaired knees, but he says he's about 90, creeping up to 95%. So he's getting there. Pavano's 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him to chase. First strikeout in the ball game.
One of the things you worry about when throwing a changeup, and take a look at the grip here by Pavano. That's the changeup grip. When you start to throw the changeup, what you worry about is that pitch creeping back inside to the right-handed batter. But because of the way he holds his, that one kind of acted like a slider out of the hand of Pavano. Nice late life moving away from the right-handed batting hinge.
So here's Laird with 2 outs. Pops up the first pitch, shallow right field. Hudson. And that is that. Tigers go 1, 2, 3 on just 7 pitches from Pavano. Name and eye care. AT&T. Find out what's possible with the nation's fastest 3G network. AT&T. Rethink possible. And by GMC, we are professional grade. You can vote for your Tigers McDonald's player of the game today using your cell phone. Text Tigers followed by a space and the player's uniform number 37338. That's FSDET. See final results post game during Tigers Live, and don't forget to check your text response for special offers from McDonald's. Standard text rates apply. Willis back to work now as Luke Hughes steps into the batter's box and takes outside 1-0. Dontrell had a 1-2-3 second inning. Hughes homered in his first major league at bat.
Demonstrated some power the opposite way, hitting that ball into the right field seats. We don't see many right-handers go against the traffic here at Comerica Park. It's tough to hit it out in that direction if you're a right-handed batter.
Line to left field. That's going to drop. A base hit for Luke Hughes. Leadoff man is on right now. We go to the studio. Ryan Field has an update on the Wings' second round schedule. Ryan. All right. Thank you, Ryan. The good news here is the Tigers have a 1-0 lead. Drew Butera, the number 9 hitter, steps in. Butera is the son of Sal Butera. That name may be familiar to some baseball fans. Was a catcher in the big leagues.
His dad was a lot bigger and stockier than he is.
1 for 6 so far for Drew. Sal is scouting right now for the Toronto Blue Jays, so he's still in the game.
I think Gerald may have gotten crossed up on that last pitch there from Dontrell, but somehow still able to catch the 88-mile-per-hour fastball. A lot of times you can tell by the action of the catcher when catching the ball whether he gets crossed up or not. And another telltale sign is usually after that he goes out and has a conversation with the pitcher.
Both of which happened on that last pitch. Snap throw, and back in there is Hughes.
That's been a good move for Dontrelle. If you don't necessarily have a good move when you pick up the conventional way with the right foot and then you just kind of casually go over to first base, that's a nice move, stepping off with that left foot, quick snap throw over to first, as long as you're accurate with your throws.
Dontrelle came inside, had a long look at that last one, thought it might have been a strike. Butera looking down at third base. The runner at first is Luke Hughes. He has led things off with the first Minnesota hit of the ball game, a single.
And Jim Leland giving the throw over the sign there to Gerald Laird to relay to Dontrelle. It's a good count to run in if you're the Minnesota Twins and you want to stay out of a double play. It's a 2-1 count. It's a fastball count, but Butera puts the ball in play. And then obviously Hughes would make it down to second.
2-2 on Butera. Minnesota has stolen just 11 bases this year. Tigers really not a running team either. They've swiped only 6, which is tied for the lowest total in the American League. Actually, with Jackson's today, it's 7. Ooh, we got him. Strike 3 on the outer edge. Third strikeout for Willis. He catches Butera napping.
He's got a nice fastball today, and the key to the fastball is the fact that he's staying on the edges with it, and he's also working below the knees, which is a good remedy for Dontrelle. If he stays down there with 2 strikes at the knees on the black, he's not going to get hurt here today.
Yeah, they're not very hittable strikes, are they?
No, he's throwing some quality strikes today.
Top of the order now, Denard Span. Span struck out starting the ball game. 0 for 1. He shows bunt. Last year, Denard had 40 infield hits, which was the 3rd highest total in the American League.
You wonder how that's going to transfer to their new ballpark. They played on artificial surface in the Metrodome, and I'm sure a lot of those were the kind that are chopped very high off the artificial surface, so you wonder if he'll get as many playing at Target Field.
Yeah, much different venue. Well, Span was saying that, I think I'm a pretty good bunter, but there's part of my ego that just wants to swing away, because in reality he's a pretty good hitter as well. And I know that Curtis Granderson went through that when he was a Tiger. He wanted to bunt a little bit more, but there's always that other part of your brain saying, I can swing the bat pretty good too.
That and the fact that Span has had a tremendous amount of success in his young career against Tigers pitching. When you're hitting 400 over the course of as many games as the Twins play against the Tigers, that's probably another reason why he feels very comfortable swinging the stick.
Yeah, there aren't too many that have been better against Tigers pitching the last couple of years.
He's got a quick setup with that front foot, not a big stride. He just kind of picks it up and puts it right back down, which allows him to recognize pitches in the strike zone a lot earlier. Not a lot of movement in Span's swing. When there's not a lot of movement, that means the head stays still, and that means you make pretty good contact, which he does. Well, take a look at his feet here. That front one in particular.
Ooh, that was close.
Dontrelle, just like all the Tigers starters for the better part of 2 weeks now since Seattle, and they've all held runners pretty well.
Two and 2 on Denard Span. Leadoff single by Hughes. 1 out later, Span is at the plate. Hudson waiting on deck. Well, the Twins have liked what they have seen out of Denard, so they locked him up with a 5-year extension during spring training this year in March. Again, the 2-2, and he almost hit him 3-2.
Dontrell went to a totally different approach that time. He went to the real high leg kick, and because of the fact that he turned his back, he didn't get to that good arm slot, and that fastball tailed on him. Take a look here. First time we've seen this delivery today. The arm doesn't get to the good slot because it never catches up. Therefore, the fastball tails into the left-hander. It's all about getting the arm slot up where you need to be.
Swing and a miss. Runner goes. Throw down to second. Hughes in a rundown. And the tag made by Everett. And that's it for Minnesota. 4 strikeouts for Willis.
It's Gerald Laird that comes up and fires a strike to Everett, and Hughes did not get a good jump. Therefore, Everett had to run him down. And did he get him? Very close play there.
Ooh, I'm not sure he tagged him.
Very, very close.
Exmo never lies.
Ooh, looked like he got him.
Yep. Good call. There's a ground ball hit to third. And Sizemore is out.
Take one more look at it.
Well, I guess he grazed him.
Yep, we'll take it.
Right there to make the call was Bruce Dreckman. Here's Adam Everett with one away. Everett back in the lineup after leaving Saturday's game in Texas with a little bit of a twinge in his hamstring. He didn't play the rest of that series, and this is his first appearance in this series.
Yeah, Ramon Santiago played some really good baseball in his absence, but that's what Ramon has done since coming back to the Tigers from Seattle in the second tour of duty as a Detroit Tiger.
Everett hits one to right field. Kubel is there. 2 gone. Santiago had 2 more hits last night. Just keep swinging it. And speaking of swinging it, here comes Austin Jackson, who singled to start the first inning, stole a base, and then scored later.
Something else that we are starting to see Austin do a little bit of, and he can do it right now if he wants to. He could bunt for a base hit. Yeah, Hughes at third is playing way too deep, and if Austin wanted a base hit in that direction, he could cruise to first base.
Chopper hits slowly towards short. Harris gobbles it up. Quick release in time, and the Tigers go quickly. A 6-pitch inning for Pavano. question, and here you go. Who is the MVP of the 1991 World Series? Most valuable player that year in the World Series.
Good
Think
question.
about that. Yeah.
Good question.
I think I've got that one.
You got that one?
Yep, I think so. How about that cool BlackBerry up there, courtesy of AT&T? Orlando Hudson will lead it off in the fourth inning. It'll be Hudson, Kadire, and Tomey. Tigers lead 1-0. It's really interesting that the dynamic developing in this game, because Pavano has thrown just 25 pitches through 3 innings. He had a 6-pitch inning. He had a 7-pitch inning. And I guess when a guy's getting ahead of you 0-1, 0-2, you just can't hang around, can you?
Well, I mean, there are some that would say, well, why don't the Tigers take a pitch or take 2 pitches? But with Pavano, he's only walked 1 batter all year long. So if you do that, chances are you're going to be in the hole. And it's a little tougher to hit when you're behind in the count.
The 1-0 pitch. Hudson takes inside. 2 balls, no strikes.
I think the Tigers have the right game plan. They just haven't found many holes against Pavano. Another thing that Pavano does very well, he locates his pitches. I told you earlier, he does not throw pitches over the heart of the plate. He really works the corners well, which is something Dontrell's done a nice job of here today.
Ball 3 on the O-Dog. Kadire and then Tomey to follow 2, 3, and 4 in Ron Gardenhire's lineup. There's a strike. Hudson is a really neat story. By all accounts, he is a very friendly guy, very talkative guy. Everybody seems to love him. And he's one of those guys that was a 43rd round pick coming out of junior college and found his way all the way to the big leagues. Sends this one high in the air, center field. Jackson is coming under it. Still waiting on it. 1 gone.
Not only has Hudson done that, but he's made all-star teams, and he's also won multiple Gold Gloves.
Pretty impressive.
It really doesn't matter the route you take. I mean, whether you're going to a junior college, a D1, D2, you just have to have the ability to play and persevere. And it helps to have some talent.
That certainly helps. Here's Michael Kadire. Kadire had a base on balls in the first inning. The only walk so far for Dontrell, who has also fanned 4 in this game.
Kadire, one of only 5 outfielders last year in the American League to have 30 or more home runs.
This one's hit a ton to right center field, but a ton of room out there as well. Jackson makes the play. By the way, this game today is available in crystal clear high definition on Fox Sports Detroit HD, sponsored by Comcast. Kind of cloudy right now, a little bit of wind kicking up. Temperature's still pretty mild though, 62 degrees right now. Jim Tomey stands in. Tomey struck out against Willis in the first inning, which continues his career-long struggles against the big lefty. Tomey is now 4 for 28. But look at the strikeouts, though. 13. Oh, yeah. 1-1. .568 career home runs for Jim Tomey. He has homered against a lot of guys in his career, but he has never homered against Dontrell Willis. The 1-1 pitch right back to the shortstop. Everett had him played perfectly, and Tomey is out. Another 1-2-3 inning for Dontrell. 3.5 in the books. It'll be Damon Ordonez Cabrera coming up.
fans, be at Comerica Park this Saturday for the 105 game against the Angels. And don't miss the on-field clinic beginning at 11 a.m. The first 10,000 fans receive a Tigers team calendar. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
So it's still 1-0. Carl Pavano back to the hill. Johnny Damon leads it off. Ball one is up high. It'll be Damon, Ordonez, and Cabrera. Pavano just 6 pitches to get through that third. The 1-0 pitch. Fouled off. Even a guy like Johnny Damon, who is as picky as anybody at the plate and has the ability to drive a pitch count up. They're going after Pavano there, 1-1.
Yeah, we told you in the pitching profile this afternoon, if you weren't with us, that Pavano's one of those guys that's kind of had to reinvent himself. Get down, ball.
And a shallow left for Delman Young, and he'll run it down.
When I saw him as a youngster, when he was the #1 pick with the Boston Red Sox in the 90s, he had a fastball anywhere from 95, 96. He threw very hard in Florida, but when he signed that 3-year contract to go play in New York, he just started to have all sorts of injuries. And because of all those injuries in a Yankees uniform, he's kind of learned to touch and feel on his fastball, curveball, slider, change, and real good numbers against the Tigers last year.
Yeah, and only 3 walks in 42 innings against Detroit hitters last year.
I don't think Minnesota would say, but they pretty much acquired Pavano last year just to pitch against the Tigers.
Oh, sure. I would agree with that. I mean, you're right. I don't think they would admit it. There's a base hit, and there it is. Hit number 2,000 in the career of Maglio Ordonez.
Congratulations. Tigers got great fans. They already know it.
They're on their feet now. 2,000 hits for Maglio. And here's that list of most hits for Venezuelan-born players, led by Omar Vizquel, and now Maglio joins the 2,000 hit club. Congratulations.
Just another lousy single for Maglio Ordonez. And you kind of had a feeling he would get that hit today against Pavano. His numbers against Pavano coming in were .429, so he's had a lot of success against Carl.
Cabrera takes high.
How about these Tigers fans? They're great, though. As soon as that ball landed in left field, they were up with a standing ovation for Maglio.
They were ready for him, and for Ordonez, his 4th hit in this series.
Tigers fans have had a chance to see a lot of those hits, over 800 of them in a Tigers uniform from Maglio.
And a good many of them the other way. Ironically, he pulls hit number 2,000. We've seen Maglio do a lot more of that this year, though.
And Pavano has thrown some really good pitches to Cabrera in this game. Look at those career numbers with the Tigers. .320 career batting average.
Cabrera takes a strike.
Ooh, well located. First 2 pitches, Cabrera really could not do anything with either of them. First one was a breaking ball. The next one was a changeup.
Pavano averaged 1.7 strikeouts per 9 innings last year, which was the 2nd best total in the American League. Does not hurt himself very often with the walks. And he just missed that one as Butera framed it out there.
Pavano thought he had strike 3. Close.
Could have gone either way.
It sure could have. Gonna go inside this time. Nope.
Missed again, 3-2.
First time up, he jammed Cabrera. And Cabrera hit a weak ground ball right back to him. It was a good 2-seam tailing fastball in on the hands of Miggy. Every pitch he's thrown to him in this pitch sequence has been away from him. Everyone.
Runner going and a swing and a miss. Throw down to second is not in time. Ordonez with a swipe.
I like the fact that Jim sent Maglio here. Cabrera very rarely strikes out. And I also like the jump that Maglio got. Usually in a 3-2 count, as a base runner, you're kind of taught, you know what, you don't need to get a good jump. Don't get picked off. You're really not trying to steal the base. But Maglio went at that like he was trying to steal that base. He got a great jump.
Well, he's in scoring position now for Brendan Bosch, who popped up his first time up. Ball 1 to Bosch.
I was talking to Bosch before the game today down on the field when they were taking batting practice. And I said, have you always been so aggressive on the first pitches? And he says, well, not really. He says, but, you know, here in the big leagues, he's noticed the guys try to get ahead of you with that first pitch fastball. And he says, if I get a good pitch to hit, I'm just going after it.
Which is pretty much what he did against Rich Harden in his big league debut. First pitch he saw was a fastball that he drove off the left field wall. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He also thought he was going to hit that. He thought that ball was going out yesterday. He hit with the bases were loaded.
He ended up with 2 doubles. The 1-1. You think it's that way for most rookies when they get to the big leagues? They'll see a lot of fastballs early?
For sure. Big league pitchers, they want to see first and foremost if you can hit a well-located fastball. And then if you show them you can hit the fastball, then they start to work on the corners with off-speed stuff. They start to throw you some off-speed pitches and fastball counts. They try to figure out exactly what your weakness is, especially if they don't have a lot of data on you, a lot of video.
3 balls, 1 strike on Brendan Bosch.
That's the pitch that Pavano needs to be successful. He needs that Greg Maddux swing back fastball against the left-handers that catches the inside corner to have any success whatsoever. If he's not getting that pitch, he's going to get hit around pretty good. That pitch right there.
Missed it, ball 4.
And he is upset about it. This is a signature pitch against lefties. It's the swing back fastball. Greg Maddux made this pitch very famous, but you can see it doesn't tail back enough. Butera, the catcher, held it there and gave Mike Estabrook a nice long look, but Estabrook made the correct call. The ball was inside.
2 on now for the Tigers. 2 outs and Brandon Inge. Inge, a strikeout victim back in the second.
Only the second base on balls this year that Pavano has issued.
Ball 1. Carl Pavano, now 34 years old, out of New Britain, Connecticut. You're talking about his days after signing that big contract with the Yankees. He didn't give him much after that contract was signed. He appeared in just 24 games in that stretch.
It was a rough 3 years for him. But a nice gamble last year by the Cleveland Indians. Bringing him to spring training. He made the team, pitched very well for them. And they moved on to Minnesota. He was the opening day starter in Minnesota's new ballpark. How about that?
Andy has just gone 3-0 here on Brandon Inge.
He's frustrated with the strike zone of Mike Estabrook, and visually he is saying that. And that's the reason why Rick Anderson is very close to going out and trying to calm his starter down.
Oh, there's a strike, 3-1.
Thought Brandon was going to swing 3-0 there.
Prior to this inning, 12 pitches in the first was his biggest, but now 20 in this half inning. 3-1 pitch. High fly ball left field. Delman Young has room on this one, and that is that for Detroit. So Pavano pitches out of the jam. Still 1-0. Jaguar XJ. Comerica Park, downtown Detroit, the site here this afternoon as the Tigers and the Minnesota Twins go at it. Series finale. Here's that AT&T trivia question. Who is the MVP of the 1991 World Series? And the answer is former Tiger Jack Morris with the Twins. 3 starts and a 2-0 record. Of course, he pitched that complete game in Game 7, which is still one of the most awesome things to watch when you look back at some of the old video of World Series games of past. Jason Kubel leads it off against Dontrell Willis. The train today has given up just 1 hit. Kubel and then Young and then Harris. There's the strike called, 1-2. Here's the 1-2 pitch now to Kubel. Fouled away. Kubel 0 for 1 with a bounce out. Tigers a run on 2 hits and the Twins no runs on 1 hit. Got him. Strike 3 on the outside corner. 5 strikeouts now for Dontrell, a season high. Well, here's the game-winning hit in the World Series in '91, courtesy of the great Jack Buck, who was at the call.
Pena in a jam. The Twins are going to win the World Series. The Twins have won it. It's a base hit. It's a 1-0 10-inning victory.
Boy, it's always great to hear Jack Buck's voice. One of the all-time greats.
Yes, he was.
There's a ball outside to Delvin Young. And there's the man who scored the winning run, Dan Gladden, doing radio these days for the Minnesota Twins. That's outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Young is 0 for 1. He lined out to right field his first time up. 2-1 pitch. Fouled back out of play.
Dan Gladden also played for the Tigers briefly.
He did indeed.
San Francisco Giants. Hard-nosed baseball player.
He's got connections to both franchises here today. Here's the 2-2. Line drive caught right at the first baseman Cabrera.
Meanwhile, Dontrell Willis is pitching about as well as we've seen him pitch in the last couple of years. He is 9 of 15 in first pitch strikes. He has thrown a lot of quality strikes in this game as well. Located fastballs at the knees. He's done a very nice job. He has to get him a few more runs, a little margin for error here.
Not only pitching effectively, but economically as well. Seven straight retired by Dontrell. Pavano had a stretch of 10 in a row retired until Ordonez singled in the 4th. Brendan Harris, the batter, with 2 outs. Bouncing ball back up the middle. Sizemore can't get it into center field. Seeing-eyed single there for Harris.
And Dontrell reached up for that ball with his left hand, so I'm kind of glad that he wasn't able to knock it down. You always see pitchers do that, and as a pitching coach, you always cringe. It's just their natural tendency.
Only the second hit allowed by Willis, and that means both teams now have just 2 hits. There's Luke Hughes. Ball 1. We're talking about the fact that Hughes from Australia hit his first big league home run last night. His mom was watching in Australia, and it's a 12-hour difference. And She was dialed into the game last night. Saw her son hit a home run, his first home run, and his first big league at bat. After what, 7? I think we'd said 7 years in the minor leagues last night.
Yes.
So that's a long road. But it paid off. He's out of Perth, Australia. 25 years old. Grounded foul, third base side. The Twins against Willis really haven't had too many really good scoring chances. They got a 2-out walk in the first, leadoff single in the fourth, and a 2-out hit here in the fifth. Not a whole lot going on against Dontrell. Two and one. These two teams wrapping up this series, and the Twins will go to Cleveland while the Angels come to town. Ball low. And now Laird will take a visit out to the mound. Meanwhile, for Dontrell, 73 pitches here in the fifth. Swing and a miss. Hughes helped him out that time. It looked like it might have been ball 4. 3-2. Twins have not had a man in scoring position yet today. They'll start the runner here. That's Harris at first. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. Willis comes back to strike him out. 6 in the ball game now for Dontrell. Nothing happening for the Twins. We go to the bottom of the fifth. Across a run, they manufactured one in the first inning. So far it's held up. Gerald Laird, Scott Sizemore, Adam Everett in the Tigers' 5th inning. Bottom 3 in the Detroit lineup. Pavano starts them off with strike 1. Laird popped up his first time with the second baseman Hudson. Fouled away. 0-2 on Gerald. We're talking about Pavano being acquired by the Indians last year. In the month of May, he won 5 games, and there were only 2 other pitchers in the American League that did that last year. Both Tigers, Porcello and Verlander. He got off to a nice start, then turned into a nice trading chip for Cleveland, and they dealt him to the Twins. 1-2 on Laird. Pavano 9 wins with Cleveland, 5 more with Minnesota, so he was a 14-game winner last year. The 1-2 in the air to center field. Routine for Denard Span.
Hey fans, as soon as the game ends, our coverage with Tigers Live, our coverage continues with Tigers Live here from manager Jim Leland and the players. Plus, we'll break down the game and show you all the highlights. Tigers Live from the Call Sam's studios immediately after the game here on Fox Sports Detroit.
1 out for Scott Sizemore. The Jim Leland postgame comments are always pretty entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want to miss them.
The 0-1. Sizemore 0 for 1 with a ground ball. Scott 1 for 4 in this series, batting .250. Shot toward right field. Kubel is on the run. He can't make the sliding catch. Sizemore trying for 2. Here's the throw, not in time. A hustling double for Scott Sizemore.
Doubles are made out of the batter's box. You have to have the mentality that you're going to possibly try to go for 2. And when Kubel comes in and tries to make the shoestring catch, he flips the ball in the air, and Sizemore reads it perfectly. And once he gets there, he's able to turn the Jets on with a head-first slide into second.
4th double of the year for Scott. Here's Adam Everett. Tigers have their 3rd hit today.
And Tigers need to get Adam Everett going. He was so good for Detroit last year, first year in a Tigers uniform, especially in the month of April. Boy, did he get some big hits for the Tigers. And the big hit here would do a lot for his confidence. He's got a really nice count to do it in, but we've already told you Pavano's one of those guys that even when he is behind, he doesn't really give into the strike zone. He'll still try to pick at the corners, which means if you're Everett, in this particular situation, it has to be a really good pitch for you to hit.
Little pop-up, middle of the infield, and caught by the shortstop Harris.
It's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Here's the count. 2 balls and no strikes. As a rule of thumb, you don't want to get jammed 2-0, but he has that late life on his fastball. Take a look at it. And he runs the ball right in on the hands of Everett and shatters his bat. And according to Fox Tracks, the ball may have been a hair up and inside.
So it'll take a 2-out hit now from the top of the lineup. Austin Jackson, he's 1 for 2. By the way, the Tigers now with a double, at least 1 double in 18 consecutive games. They had 6 doubles in the ball game last night. One and 1. That leads MLB, not just the American League. They finished last year in doubles. It's been a different type season offensively at the start this year. Right back up the middle into center. Sizemore rounding third. They'll send him home. Span comes up throwing, and his throw is late. It's an RBI hit and another multiple hit game for Jackson.
That's one of the things that Jackson has shown the uncanny ability to do, and that's get big knocks with 2 outs which he does here. And he also has gotten a lot of base hits the opposite way and up the middle. For a young kid that's a free swinger, he really knows when to back off and do it the right way by getting base hits the opposite direction.
So Sizemore hustles in with a double and hustles home with a run. Damon takes ball one.
Take a look at the spray chart here of Jackson. 10 up the middle, 9 the opposite way. If he continues to do that, he'll hit 300 in the big leagues for a long time.
Damon, meanwhile, is 0 for 1 with a sacrifice, trying to extend his hitting streak.
Well, Jackson's already stolen a base in this game, and no doubt with 2 outs, he'll be looking to get down into scoring position once again. And this is where Johnny Damon is a very nice number 2 here, because Damon is not afraid to take a strike. Doesn't mean he will take a strike, but if he thinks Jackson has an idea of running, he'll take one just to allow him to do so.
Pulls that one on the ground to second base and gobbled up there by Hudson. That is that for Detroit, but they get another run, take a 2-0 lead. And you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire.
This fastball, whether going inside or whether going outside, he's been right at the knees and he's been on the edges all afternoon. And it's not often you say the word command when you say Dontrell's name, but that's exactly what he has had today. He has been better than good today.
Well, and it's great to see just 75 pitches through the first 5 innings. So now he goes to work here in the 6th.
And he's been strike one on a lot of these Minnesota Twins hitters who came in leading the world in base on balls this season.
0-2 on Drew Butera. Butera struck out in the 3rd. Bouncing ball to second base. Easy play for Scott Sizemore. And Butera is out, 1 away. Here is Denard Span. It's been a tough day for Denard. A couple of strikeouts. 6 of them totaled up already by Willis. In fact, his strikeout back in the 3rd turned into a strike him out, throw him out after Hughes had singled. And Dontrell has given up just 2 hits today to this Minnesota offense. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Looks like he's in total control today. Does Willis. Taking his time, thinking about each pitch. The delivery has been very consistent. He's throwing out of the same arm slot, which is always very important for a left-handed pitcher. And when you add it all up, you get the kind of numbers he's posted so far today. I know Rick Knapp is elated, as is Jim Leland.
High fly ball. Right center field. Jackson calls off Maglio. And there are 2 outs. Right now we go back to the studio. Ryan Field has an update on the AL hit leader, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, that's pretty good. 2 gone now here in the 6th inning, and here is Orlando Hudson. Ball outside to the O-Dog. He has hit safely in 5 in a row, but hitless in this one against Willis. Not too many hits for this Twins offense today. Just 2 singles. And there's a strike. 1-1. A single by Hughes and a base hit for Brendan Harris, both coming from the bottom of the lineup today for the Twins. That's pretty much been about it. Checked it. Did he go? Nope, says Bruce Dreckman.
Good firm fastball at 91. Laird set up inside. Dontrelle hits the glove. That's what he's done a lot of today. He has hit Laird's glove on a lot of the 85 pitches he's thrown here today.
Line drive, base hit. Hudson with a 2-out single.
His hit streak continues.
It pushes up to 6 with that base hit. So now you get to the middle of the lineup here. It's a 2-run game. You got to be careful here with Kadire, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Kadire, thanks to a tremendous stretch run last year, had a very good season.
With the kind of control that Dontrelle has so far here this afternoon, he has to make Kadire hit the ball to straightaway center field, just as Tigers pitchers did yesterday. Let him hit it to center field as far as he can hit it. And chances are, on most days, it's not going to go out.
Last year, 32 home runs for Kadire. That was a career high. Fouled the other way, and now it's 0-2.
I said earlier, only a handful of outfielders hit 30 home runs last year. Kadire was one. Curtis Granderson, now playing for the New York Yankees, another. Jason Bay, I believe, also had 30-plus home runs in a Boston uniform.
His 94 RBIs were not a career high, however. He knocked in over 100 a few years back. He's down 0-2. Kadire had the honor of driving in the first run at Target Field. The first home run was hit by Kubel. We'll be seeing Target Field on the next road trip. First time we'll be able to go to that ballpark, and looking forward to it.
Kadire was giving me a little bit of a scouting report on Target Field today. He said it's spacious to center field. I think he says about 404 straightaway center field, but they have a gap at Target Field that's about 411. So he said the ball really doesn't travel all that well to center field, and he also drew a comparison to their new ballpark to Seattle's field, Safeco. So they're similar. They play about the same. Balls jump down the line, but in the alleys and straightaway center field, it's tough to hit them out of there, is what Kadire was telling me.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, it's smack dab in the middle of downtown. It's a great area down there, so it should be fun to go. There's a base hit to right. He went the other way. And Kadire has his first hit today. So the tying runs are on for Minnesota. That's going to bring up Jim Thome.
It's a nice patient at bat by Kadire. After falling behind, no balls and 2 strikes, he worked the count back to his favor, 2-2. He knew Dontrelle was not going to come inside to him, so he just took the base hit the other way.
And for the first time today, the Twins have a man in scoring position. Tying runs on in a 2-0 game. We're in the 6th. Thome is 0 for 2, and he bounces one foul right by Jerry White in the coaching box. Each team now with 4 hits in the game. Oh, 2. Well, just a $182 in the last 3 games with men in scoring position for Minnesota. Joel Zumaya heating up.
Joe's ready today. He had a couple of days off.
Just as Leland had promised. The 0-2 pitch. Up high.
Dontrelle reached back to get a little extra there. 94.
Really?
That's the one thing about Dontrelle. Now, he used to pitch at 94, but he realizes it's not necessarily the velocity these days with him, but it's more location. But when he really needs to reach back and get that kind of velocity, he still has it in his tank.
That slides outside. 2-2 on Thome.
One of the biggest pitches of the game for Dontrelle coming up right here. 2-2. You don't want to go 3-2 and give the base runners an advantage of starting on the next pitch. So go right after Thome here.
95 pitches. Thome gets time. Resettles into the box. Three and 2. So just what you had described will happen now. Hudson will be on the move, and so will Kadire. Jason Kubel waiting on deck. Twins trying to take advantage of their first scoring chance of the day. 3-2 pitch with the runners going. Swinging a high, towering fly ball to right field. He'll stay in the park. Ordonez under it, and inning over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. Bottom of the 6th coming up.
Coors Light freeze cam. We're going to take you back a few innings. It was Span in the batter's box. He struck out, and Hughes was taking off on the pitch. Adam Everett had to finish the rundown. Coors Light freeze cam, always brought to you by your Frost brewed Coors Light.
So as we go to the bottom of the sixth, it'll be Maglio leading it off in a 2-0 game. Dontrell Willis this afternoon. No runs on 4 hits. He got a big out. Tomey with 2 men on. And he was fired up coming off the field, too. Ordonez, Cabrera, and Bosch here in the 6th inning. Pavano's still out there. And a check swing strike. 0-2. Maglio singled, stole a base back in the 4th inning. 2,000 big league hits now for Ordonez. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Got him. Strike 3. Pavano threads the needle. It's his 3rd strikeout. 1 away.
Hey fans, spent Sunday at Comerica Park when the Tigers faced the Angels at 105. All kids 14 and under receive a Maglio Ordonez poster. For tickets, call 866-66-TIGER or log on to tigers.com.
Here is Cabrera. Little pop-up, right side of the infield. Kadir hauls it in, 2 gone.
Cabrera trying to get to that fastball, that tailing fastball that Pavano is throwing, and he's jammed it for the 2nd time in the game today.
He's going to bring up Brendan Bosch. Walking a pop-up this afternoon for Bosch. Ball 1. Bosch 2 for 5 in this series, a pair of doubles in last night's comeback win. Including one with the bases loaded, which drove in 2 and very nearly went out for a grand slam. That would have been some kind of way to get your first big league homer. Strike called on the outer edge. 1-2. Numbers on D-Train awfully impressive today.
He's in one of those zones today.
Little tapper hit slowly and foul. 1-2 on Brendan Bosch. Well, I think you mentioned this a little bit earlier, Rod. I think the key for Dontrell today is just getting ahead. I mean, I know that's the key for everybody, but especially for Willis, who has struggled with the control.
He has thrown quality strikes today. Not just strikes, but quality strikes. There's a difference. Strikes get hit. Quality strikes, they don't hit those very hard.
And Bosch goes down swinging. 1-2-3 inning for Pavano, who has 4 strikeouts. 7th inning on the way. 6:30 with Tigers Live, which includes a performance by the Victorious Secrets, our April in the D grand prize winning band. Give a listen. Tiger Baseball presented by Bell Tire tomorrow night at Fox Sports Detroit. There they are. And you'll be able to check them out in the pregame tomorrow. Don Kelly is the new left fielder. Brennan Bosch has been taken out of the game. Willis back to the hill as we go to the 7th. Kubel, Young, and Harris. Tigers lead 2-0. Trying to take 2 out of 3 from the division leading Twins. Here's the 1-0. Kubel is 0 for 2. Ground ball and a strikeout. Each team with 4 hits. The Tigers, though, got a run in the first and a sac fly by Damon. And then Austin Jackson singled in a run with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Inside as Kubel bends out of the way, and now it's 3-0 on the leadoff man. And there's the 100th pitch thrown by Dontrell. Ball 4, so he walks the leadoff man.
That might be it for D-Train.
I believe you're correct. Skipper coming out.
And now you got to deal with the fact that at some point in time, I'm sure Gardenhire is going to use Maurer, so you wanted to keep that left-hander out there as long as you could possibly keep him out there.
So Willis gives up the baseball. Wellside Windows pitching change, and he gets a standing O as he walks off the field.
Outstanding job.
Walk, and he is met there by Rick Knapp, but what a day for the D train.
And you could just see that Rick Knapp is so happy for Dontrell, as is all of baseball, really. I mean, everywhere we go, I mean, people, at least in spring training, they wanted to know how Dontrell was doing, how he was progressing, and the news was good in spring training, and the news is still real good here in the month of April.
It's pretty good on Joel Zumaya, too. He comes in at 2-0 in his 10th appearance.
14 strikeouts. He has not walked a batter yet this year.
Strike one on Delman Young.
98 to 101 with his fastball and a curveball that he's really started to locate very well this year at about 80 miles an hour.
Fastball rides high, and the count goes to 1-1.
It's been well documented that some of the Tigers starters have kind of stubbed their toe this year out of the gate. They've kind of struggled. They've put up numbers that we're not accustomed to seeing some of our starters put up, but at bullpen, it has been right there. Johnny on the spot, lights out. Ooh.
Well, here you go. Innings pitched, wins, earned run average, holds, opponent's batting average. And look at Valverde, Coke, and Zamaya at the bottom.
How about Fute Ni with 14 strikeouts?
Does he have 14 too?
He has 14 strikeouts. Missed it high. 3-1. Boy, did Coke look good last night.
He had a good fastball, and that slider was good too, and some changeups.
Brendan Harris on deck.
Joe wants contact here.
Bouncing ball back towards second. Should be 2. Sizemore. Everett. Double play.
That is gorgeous. You knew that Delvin would be swinging. He's a very aggressive swinger, and he had himself in a favorable count. A good firm fastball by Zamaya and a 4-6-3 double play. Perfectly turned by Sizemore and Everett. That's big.
2 down now for Brendan Harris. Single and a pop up for Harris. Not a whole lot of offense to speak of today. Tigers a run in the first, a run in the fifth. Each team with 4 hits. Twins have not scored. Zamaya slings home another, and it misses. 1-1. 100 miles an hour.
I really can't think of anybody in baseball that has a better fastball than Zamaya right now. I mean, there's some guys that every now and then will touch 100, but Zamaya can pitch at 100 miles an hour with his fastball. And he's also developed the uncanny ability to have some late life with that pitch. That last one, 101. But his fastball is moving in the strike zone. Uh-oh. Comcast. 101. All cheddar today for Zamaya. 8 pitches, the lowest one, 98 miles an hour.
Ground ball to third. Brandon Inge has it. And Zamaya does the job. He gets 2 ground balls, one of them a double play. Stretch time. How about our Comerica game summary today with the Tigers on top 2-0. Ordonez's 2,000th career hit in this game. Austin Jackson has done it again. 2 more hits. He leads the American League now with 31 hits. And Dontrelle Willis, well, marvelous job today. Tigers looking for some insurance now. Brandon Inge will lead it off in the bottom of the 7th, 2-0 game. Willis has kind of overshadowed Pavano this afternoon. There's a high towering fly ball. Left center field, hit well. Span will get there, and one away. Pavano at one point in this game had retired 10 consecutive Tigers before Ordonez got the single in the 4th. Well, he's retired 5 in a row. Here is Gerald Laird. Strike 1 to Laird. Pulled. There's a base hit. Finally, Gerald hits the ball hard and he gets rewarded. He's run into some bad luck early this season, but hit that one right on the screws.
Let's take a look at it in X-Mo. It's a fastball inside, and Gerald able to pull his hands in nicely and with real good balance. And when you come down through the baseball, opposed to dropping that back shoulder, which creates pop-ups, you get the good line drives. Good swing by Gerald.
Sizemore, the batter. Strike 1. Scott had that double with 1 out in the 5th inning. Scored on the 2-out hit by Jackson. One ball, one strike.
Let's see if the Tigers are in a running mood here. 1-1 is not a count that you usually hit and run in, but Jim not afraid to do so with this combination. Pavano knows as much, and so does his manager and Ron Gardenhire. You can't slip much by Gardenhire. He's a sharp manager.
Now Butera comes out to the mound. Good crowd here today for a day game midweek. 25,595. Watching the Tigers wrap up this series with Minnesota. And a chance to take 2 out of 3. Pitch out.
Now you can really do it if you want to. And because obviously Ron Gardenhire thought that possibly the hit and run was on. That's why the pitch out was called. Not many managers will double up with the pitch out, however.
Runner goes. Fouled off.
You can kind of see it coming. Pavano throws lots of strikes, which means he's the perfect hit and run candidate to do it against. And it's not all bad if you can create a little bit more margin for error. A few more tack-on runs.
Swing and a miss. Pavano gets another strikeout.
Hey fans, visit the official online shop of the Detroit Tigers at Tigers.com. Browse the largest selection of authentic Tigers merchandise, including clubhouse caps, t-shirts, jerseys, sweatshirts. Well, you get the idea. You can get it all there, straight from the source at Tigers.com.
Here's Adam Everett with 2 outs. Adam 0 for 2 in his return to the lineup today. Takes ball one. Adams been out of the lineup since last Saturday when he tweaked his hamstring. Not serious enough, though, to put him on the DL. There's a strike call. These days, though, when the Tigers have an injury with the big club, they can feel pretty confident going down to Toledo. They brought Brennan Bosch up for Guillen, and he's produced. They've had some guys down there that have gotten off to good starts. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Galarraga has gotten off to a nice start down there. So is Brent DeLugic.
Galarraga will help this ball club before the season's all over with.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The 1-2. One on his hands, and he pulls it foul.
That must be a tough pitch for Tigers right-handers to lay off of, because several guys have swung at this same fastball, swing back variety on the inside part of the plate, and it's just a pitch you can't hit. But it looks like the strike all the way into the last moment. You can see that ball just start to creep in on the right-handers. It's a very effective pitch for Bavano, to right-handers and to left-handers.
Off the end of the bat toward first base. Kadire has it. He'll tag the runner, and that ends the inning. So we'll go to the 8th, and you're watching Tigers baseball on Fox Sports Detroit, presented by Bell Tire. Still lead this one 2-0. And a nice day for baseball here. Good crowd on hand. Tigers wrapping up this series with first place Minnesota. Only 9 hits in the game, 5 for the Tigers and just 4 for the Minnesota Twins. Joel Zumaya back at the hill. Luke Hughes will lead things off for Minnesota. Hughes, Butera, and Span due up here in the 8th. Zumaya came on, got a double play ball in the 7th and a ground out. And that was that after the leadoff walk. Inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Looks like Joe Mauer has moved to the on-deck circle.
Joe Mauer has had a rough series. 1 for 9.
Lifted back out of play. Well, he'll get another shot to hit. He's waiting on deck. 1 for 9 stretches are few and far between for a guy like Mauer.
You got that right, because if you look at the back of his bubblegum card, the numbers don't lie. 3 batting titles. Superb player.
Another foul. Meanwhile, Hughes 101 that time from Zemaia. He was able to spoil it.
Well, you wonder if Joel is feeling comfortable throwing that breaking ball. If he is, he could throw one here and get a strikeout, but I know he doesn't want to run the risk as well of walking Hughes either. So we'll see what he goes with here.
Swing and a miss. Good old-fashioned fastball. First strikeout for Joel.
He's throwing some little bitty ones up there today. Little aspirins. 4-seam fastball right down the middle. Here it is. Hit it.
So here's Mauer now to pinch hit for Butera. One for 9 career against Zemaia with 3 strikeouts. No balls, 1 strike.
Nice, easy gas. They used to talk about how Zemaia's delivery was violent when he came to the big leagues back in '06 after being a starter in the minor leagues for the Tigers in 2005. But they've cleaned him up pretty good. He looks awfully smooth out there. That last breaking ball, 82 after a first pitch fastball at 100. Look at this. It's a nice, clean delivery. Nice, easy leg kick, which allows the arm slot to get up.
Here's the 0-2. Mauer cuts and misses. He struck him out with a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Two gone. Zemaia picks up his second strikeout. Here is Denard Span. Seeing why Jim Leland wanted to give Zemaia a couple of days off after his last outing against the Texas Rangers. Joel had 2 days off and has come back really strong. The 1-0 pitch. 1-1.
Well, Jim is a master at handling his bullpen as we look at Valverde tuning up for the 9th. He can handle a pitching staff. One of the more important jobs for any manager is handling the pitching staff. Knowing when to pull guys, knowing when to give the guys in the bullpen a blow. Realizing that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you want to keep everybody healthy.
One of the most important jobs, and maybe one of the most difficult jobs. Rolled foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Denard Span. Zemaia has faced 4 batters. He's gotten a double play, 2 strikeouts, and a ground out. Span has already fanned twice in this game. And by Span's historical numbers against Detroit, he's having a rough series finally against the Tigers. He's 2 for 11 based on what he had done in the past. 3-2. And he came in a .400 hitter against Tigers pitching in his career. Three-two pitch. In the air. Shallow left center. Everett back. Kelly in. Kelly with a play. And a 1-2-3 inning for Joel Zemaia. He's faced 5 batters. He's gotten all 5. Tigers here, and Detroit will have the top of the lineup. Austin Jackson, Johnny Damon, and Maglio Ordonez facing Carl Pavano. He's gone the distance so far. There's the bunt. Going to be a tough play, and it's scooped at first for the out.
What a play by Hughes.
I thought he had no shot.
The ball may have been bunted a little bit too hard, which allowed him to come in and grab it and flip it over to first. A nice play by Kadire on the other side of the diamond. But with Jackson's speed, I'm right there with you. I didn't think there was no way. But what a play by Hughes.
I will say this, though. It's refreshing to see Austin drop down a bunt, though.
He will do that from time to time.
That can only help. Damon rolls one to the right side. And Pavano just got there for the out. 2 gone. That'll bring up Ordonez. So Pavano, who's had some quick innings in this game, now has 2 pitches, 2 outs here in the 8th.
Pavano has pitched a pretty good game. And Tigers manufactured a run against him back in the 1st inning after a Jackson single on a stolen base and a sacrifice fly by Damon. But really, he has pitched as well today as he had pitched against the Tigers last year.
I would agree. And last year he was awfully good.
Yep. 4-1 against the Detroit Tigers last year. Dontrell Willis was better. He outpitched Pavano today. And right now, that's the difference in the ball game.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Well, when you look at Willis's outing today, the thing that I guess sticks out to me is only 1 walk through 6 innings. And yes, he did walk the leadoff man in the 7th.
He was superb. Quality strikes.
He was really good. Line drive, base hit, left field line, maybe more. Let's see. Maglio takes the turn. He'll go to second. And he's got himself a double.
The same fastball that Pavano has been featuring the majority of the afternoon, and he's been handcuffing quite a few of the right-handed batters, but Maglio was not having any of that, especially in a 2-1 count. Take a look at the location. The ball is on the inner third of the plate. Maglio pulls his hands in nicely with great concentration, head down, and whistles that ball down in the left field corner. That is just a pretty swing with great balance.
So the Tigers continue to pile up the doubles. Well, it's time for the Coors Light cold hard blast. Might as well go with Maglio. His 2000th hit. That was back in the 4th inning. One of his 2 hits today. Congratulations to Mags.
Cabrera is one of those right-handed hitters that has had a difficult time with Pavano and that running, fading fastball inside today. But he's also one of those guys that knows how to make an adjustment. You don't hit 300 every year and driving 100 runs if you're not making adjustments.
Well, for 3 for Miguel. Pavano has thrown just 94 pitches. And now they're just going to put him on with first base open in the 2-0 count. Fans are a bit upset. They want to see him swing.
Well, it's a smart move by Ron Gardenhire. They want to keep this a 2-run game going into the 9th, which gives them a better opportunity of trying to score a couple runs. If you let the big fella get loose, it's all of a sudden a 4-run deficit.
Matt Guerrier checking out the action from their bullpen. Here's Don Kelly.
Guerrier has not made an appearance in this series.
Kind of surprising.
It's rare when we don't see him.
Ball 1 to Kelly. Of course, they haven't needed anybody with the way Pavano has pitched today. Kelly 0 for 1 in the series.
That's the pitch Pavano really has not been getting today from Mike Estabrook. The swing back fastball to the left-handers.
Lace to left field, sinking, and it's going to drop. Base hit. Maglio coming around to score. It's a big RBI single for Don Kelly. He foils the strategy there. A 2-out run for Detroit.
He didn't hit it very hard, but he didn't need to. It's another fastball inside. This one stays up, which allows him to find some grass in the outfield. Delman Young charging aggressively. May have had a play had he been able to come up with it cleanly, but off the heel of the glove. Not able to glove it. Therefore, the Tigers get the important insurance run.
It'll bring up Brandon Inge. Ball 1 to Brandon. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Tigers in this game. Inge 0 for 3. So Pavano now is over 100 pitches. To center field for Span to end the inning. Tigers get an insurance run on the hit by Kelly. We go to the 9th. 3-0. Here this afternoon.
And because he was so impressive, we're going to make him our bell tire pitch by pitch. Firm fastball to Hughes that he blows him away with. And then after throwing Maurer a breaking ball on the second pitch, he comes back with a heater at 100 miles an hour to strike out the American League batting champion and MVP of 2009. What a job by Joel Zumaya.
So the Tigers bullpen continues to shine. We'll see if Jose Valverde can put this one in the win column.
He's been good in the Tigers uniform. One blemish, which was the loss, and the only blown save he's had this year. But the earned run average, innings pitched, 4 strikeouts, 4 walks. He's given up 1 home run. The opponent's hitting 152 against Papa Grande.
Well, we have a moment. Have your picnic or party at an upcoming Tigers game. Group tickets, picnics, and party suites are on sale now. Groups of 15 or more get discount tickets on selected games. while supplies last. Order your group tickets at 313-471-BALL or visit Tigers.com.
Did someone say party?
You'll be there.
I'm there.
Well, here we go. Valverde facing Orlando Hudson to start things off in the ninth. 3-0 Detroit. 3 outs away from taking 2 out of 3 from Minnesota. And believe it or not, it would be the first time this year the Twins would have lost a series.
They've gotten off to a really good start.
Hudson, Kadire, and Tomey here in the ninth inning. Ball outside, 2-0. Well, this day certainly belongs to Dontrelle Willis with an outstanding start here today. Willis didn't give the Twins a whole lot. Two and one on Hudson. Angels will be in tomorrow. Porcello and Pinheiro. 3-game weekend set before the Tigers hit the road again. Three and one. On deck, Michael Kadire. High fly ball toward left. Kelly may run out of room here, and he will. 3-2. Ball four. Valverde didn't want to do that. He watched the leadoff man. It's going to bring up Kadire. They need one more base runner to gain the tying run to the plate. So that extra run they got with the Kelly single, a big one here in the ninth. Tomey is on deck. Kadire walking a single. One and one. Tigers have done a pretty good job on Denard Span in this series. They've done a good job on Mauer. They've done a good job on Kadire. Valverde looking for his 7th save. If he gets it here today, that would tie him with Papelbon and Rausch for the second highest total in the American League. Bouncing ball hit towards second. Sizemore flips to second one. Relay. Got him. Oh, Kadyr's not going to like that.
Neither is Gardenhire.
4.63. Kadyr has some parting shots for Bruce Dreckman.
Kadyr's got decent speed. That ball hit rather softly. I didn't think there was going to be any chance whatsoever at them turning it over, but it's a nice job by Adam. Some shortstop may have eaten this ball to run the risk of throwing it away, but he finished the play, which is a good job.
Gardenhire just kind of waved his hands in the air, turned around, and walked back into the dugout. And I'm not going out there again.
Look at the stretch. Is he on there?
So that's going to bring up Tomey with 2 outs. Tigers turned a double play in the 7th. Now 1 here in the 9th. Tomey looks at a strike, 0-1.
Minnesota has hit into a boatload of double plays already this year. A ton of them. Tigers got some big arms in their bullpen. Valverde, Zamaya, Perry all throwing 95 and above. But the day belongs to the D train. What an afternoon for him.
Waiting and a miss. 1-2 on Tomey. 1 strike to go here, and the Tigers can wrap this one up. 25,000 plus to their feet, screaming for the final strike. And there it is. Valverde saves the game for Dontrell Willis. Dontrell's first win of this season.
What a start by D-Train. What a game by the Tigers. Statement game, so to speak.
So the Tigers take 2 out of 3, the first time this